Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. Joining us this morning, our friend Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand. Of course, used to do, when she was with the city, used to do Get Hip to Hickory, the first person to do that. Did that for a number of years. So it has joined us on a regular basis, and we're glad to have her back on a regular basis. Again, we're going to do it quarterly because Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, and I want to make sure I got this right. Are you the CEO? Is that correct?
Yes.
Of the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau.
Correct.
Okay, and we don't have any idea what we're going to call this segment yet, but you're going to talk about the things that are going on with visitors, with some of the events coming up. And this morning, maybe tell us a little about construction. Good to see you again.
Great to see you, Hal. Thank you for the opportunity to be here so we can inform our listeners on all the great things happening with our tourism arm in our community, which is a big economic driver to our entire region.
And big news on the construction and the events. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's start with, where do you want to start? You want to talk about the visitors?
Let's talk about visitors,
okay,
yes.
Let's do that.
So we've been having visitors. If you think about Hickory starting in 1870, we've been having visitors ever since then because we had the Hickory Tavern and people traveling through.
There you go. And 1870 people were visiting.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Back in 1870. So Hickory has always been a place for visitors. Well, visitors are important for many reasons, but one thing, I know I only have about 15 minutes, so I'm just going to keep it brief. So we just actually published a 68-page new visitors guide. You're looking at it right now. It's a 23-24 destination guide. And a destination guide is what we give visitors. It's in all the welcome centers in North Carolina and on our border states.
Oh, it's in the welcome centers.
It is, absolutely. They love it. And then we also send it to a lot of regional visitor centers, just like the ones that we have in Hickory throughout the state, because we want to bring people to our community. We want to show them all the things that there is to do here, because when we bring visitors here, they're spending the night in the hotels, they're going out to dinner, they're going probably to the museums, to the theater, to the furniture mart, you name it, Speedway, crawdads. And that's really important to bring those visitors here to have a great experience. And there's so many opportunities in the future with all the public and private investigation and public and private, investment happening in our community is bringing visitors as well. And those visitors could become residents one day.
This is very interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at
I know, it's fine, but it's beautiful. And so our
very,
staff...
Very nice. Now, in the old days, if you were looking for a job in radio, sometimes you'd call the Chamber of Commerce and they'd send you a little package. They'd send you a newspaper.
Right.
They'd send you the printed guide. A lot of that now is done online.
Right.
But having these in the rest areas, or the, what do you call them?
The welcome centers, North Carolina welcome centers.
There you go. Really, really nice. And that's really good looking.
It is. And so our team, led by Sarah Davis-Jones and Elizabeth Clark and a whole lot of partners throughout the community, put together this guide themselves. You can go.
Did they really?
They did. It's absolutely beautiful.
Because I was going to ask you who did this.
Oh, yes. So visit hickorymetro.com. You can see a digital copy. If you want a printed copy, come to the Convention Center in our Visitors Bureau. Our hours are 8 to 5, usually Monday to Friday, and you pick up, or we have them outside the Visitor Center as well. So our locals can be the best ambassadors in our community. And so it would be wonderful if you take a look at this visitor's guide, read through it, and, invite some family and friends to come visit you.
Very good.
And so there is a lot going on. We also really like to promote a lot of the different things happening in our community. So visit hickorymetro.com, follow us on social media, and you'll have a list of events that are going on as well.
What's going on at the center
Convention
itself?
Center.
Yeah, huh?
Well, I looked at the calendar over the weekend, and this weekend we basically have a group there every single day except maybe Easter Sunday. When you think about the Convention Center, a lot of locals are like, I saw a lot of cars there, but what was going on a Wednesday at 10 a.m.? Right. Well, coming up, we have the North Carolina Septic Tank, and then we have the North Carolina Locksmith Association.
See, I did not realize how important septic tanks were. There's so many in our county, and there's so many people who don't have plumbing. That's a big business, and so very, very important.
And all the professionals in North Carolina, their annual meeting is in Hickory. So they're staying here for several nights, and they're getting all their updating training, all the updates. I mean, the list is amazing when you think about building. There's an association for everything. The building materials group will be here. The North Carolina water operators, when we have our tap, we open up our tap, and we're having a glass of water this morning, it's coming from the Hickory water plant. Well, all those trainers are coming in North Carolina are coming to Hickory on a regular basis to make sure they're take tests, make sure they're always have up-to-date training on that as well. So that's a really important association, and they like coming to our community. which is great. And one of the favorite groups, which I know we've talked about before, now they're all favorites, okay? But since we began in 1997, the North Carolina Cattlemen Association has come here, and I think we've had them on the radio at time before. But these are the folks that have farms. That a lot of the NC State University is a really big part of bringing that to our community too, and a lot of other communities would like to have that association, but they like coming here, and so to have them here since 1997. They weren't here a couple years because of the pandemic, but they are back here again. And the list goes on and on again. So we're always busy with those associations. Also, public shows. People really like public shows because that sometimes gets locals in, but you got to think those public shows, the vendors are staying here as well. So, of course, coming up, we have a gun and knife show, which I know they're advertisers here, and they have a big, big crowd. We have a bird show coming up mid-February.
Really?
And I'm not going to give you all the dates because people can figure that out online and look at it. The Hickory Comic Con. I mean, that's grown and grown.
Yes.
It's really big. If you want to see Spider-Man, Darth Vader, anybody, just, come on by February 18th. And then another big show, actually these shows have been with us since the beginning, is the end of March. We have the Pottery Festival, which is well known. I mean, we have people come from neighboring states up in the Northeast, and they'll spend the night. But that's a really big deal on the Gem and Mineral Show.
Right.
And we've got Toy Show. The list goes on and on again. And then the third thing, so we've kind of talked about visitors. We've talked about things going on at the convention center.
Right.
The last thing I want to talk about, which is really important, is our expansion at the convention center. Our plans are to break ground May the 1st.
Okay.
So Hickory Construction Company received that bid, and we're working on details of that. It's a $14 million expansion, and that expansion is going to be a major game changer in the state of North Carolina, really. I say the region, but the state. We're going to expand by 46,000 square feet, but one of the most important sections we have is this expo space, which is going to be about 35,000 square feet with 30-foot ceilings. So we're going to be able to have travel volleyball, basketball, cheer. We're already getting lots of interest about cheer, which is great because, they really go high up in the air.
Right.
So that's going to bring a lot of tournaments to our community. And we work really close with the city of Hickory and a lot of other partners to make sure. And then also we're going to I know we only have a few minutes, we're going to plan to update some of our existing space. Our Catawba section, which many people have been there, the carpeted space, it's going to be updated. Plus we're going to have another addition where we're going to really spotlight the Furniture Hall of Fame, talk about the importance of furniture, and it'll be a great area for receptions and for people to learn more about the history of our community there as well. And there's so much more to talk about, but we're excited about this expansion. We hope it'll be done in about a year to 18 months, and we'll have the opportunity to bring in more groups and more visitors, which is going to make a major impact on our community.
With seconds left, you'll still be bringing folks in during the construction and able to move them around.
Absolutely. We're not going to close a day. We're already full on the other side of the building. So we are very thankful, and we are thankful for our customers that are going to stick with us during the renovation.
Very good. Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, thanks so much for joining us. Chief Executive Officer of your Hickory Metro Convention Center and the Convention Center and the Visitors Bureau as well. I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. Make sure that you pick up your destination guide. And as oftentimes you can just simply drive by and take a look at the sign out front and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the cattlemen or whatever that's going on there. Check out the events. And also, if they have the little signs up sometimes, pardon our mess.
Yes.
But there's not
Bear with us.
But there's not going to be a mess. This is going to be nice.
Positive interruption.
Positive interruption. There you go. I think my clock is just a little bit off here this morning. I was going to say I thought we were going right to a break, but anyway, what's the next thing that's coming up at the convention center that we can go see? Is it the Comic-Con? Is it the gun show? What's coming up next?
Gun show is coming up, and then we have the Comic-Con, the bird show,
right,
Gem and Mineral Show, toy show.
All these are open.
All these are open shows.
Some of them ticketed. It's not all free.
And they're available. And sometimes we don't have people. We may not have, like, there are some groups here. Like last week we had a local business that had 200 sales reps here from across the country.
Wow.
It was Sure Tape, and we were very thankful for that.
But you've got the hotel space.
Oh, the hotel space. But a lot of that stuff may not be on our website because obviously it's a meeting that you're coming to it because you're part of that group. But we're thankful for our local businesses, all you business folks listening. Please bring your national sales meetings to our community.
It'll be successful. You'll have a good time. We have everything you need.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you don't believe me, just ask Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, Hal.